were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, guide me, O thou great Jehovah. I'm a pilgrim through this barren land. Oh, I am weak, but thou art mighty. Oh, God, hold me thy powerful hand. Say, were you there when they crucified my Lord? Say, were you there when they crucified my Lord? Hallelujah.
All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let me get right into the material. All right, we're keeping up with the Klansman One Don gang trial, and at this one recording, this is probably number 29 or 28. Alleged gangsters believe that Snitch was a fellow member of the gang. All right. They had also suspected that the police had tapped their phones. Now, during the planning of one of the secretly captured recordings in court today, reputed leader Andre Blackman Brian, during the playing of one of the secretly captured recordings, so they're playing the information from the phones that was secretly recorded. Andre Brian Blackman and his alleged second in command, who goes by the moniker of Lucifer and Citypuss, were heard voicing their suspicion during a conversation with the female defendant Stephanie Christie. Yo, let me tell you something before I even read anything. Stephanie Christie is all over this thing, okay? I don't think there's any way she can get herself out of this because she is in everything. So anyways, they're playing the recordings in court today, and this is supposed to be a conversation, right, with Brian Blackman and his second in command, who goes by the moniker Lucifer and Citypuss. And they were heard voicing their suspicion during the conversation with the female defendant Stephanie Christie, the so-called pastor, and the ex-gang member who had recorded the calls. Obviously, these conversations would not be going on with this ex-gang member who recorded the calls unless he was someone that was high-ranking and trusted, right? So right away, that validates his testimony of his position in the gang. Based on the information that the investigator who was probing the gang had, the two alleged top-tier gang members who were both behind bars at the time were convinced that it must have been from one of their cronies. Now remember, I know they're behind bars. He's outside in the free world recording this conversation, and that's not hard to prove. All them have to go do is look at the dockets and see that yes, they were behind bars at the time. So they were using a contraband phone and making these phone calls from behind bars, which builds more credibility to the accusation that these men are violent producers that did call shots from behind bars, to include extortion, ordering murders, and so on and so forth. This particular conversation, they were behind bars. In the conversation, you can hear him say, quote unquote, "Ya hear me? Them man ya have a direct man where I work with them. You hear that?" This is what Citypuss said. "Yeah man, somebody assigned to that the program there. It possible said them I listen to, you know." The witness, however, tried to convince them that no one was listening to their conversation because he want to record more, right? So he said, if them did I listen the calls them would have asked me for harder than how them ask me. Ask for me. Them would have asked for me about the car thing. But Citypuss, so he was trying to like redirect the conversation and try to assure them that no man, them not listen. Cause if them did not listen, them would have asked more. Them would have asked for me, and them would have asked about the car thing. But Citypuss told him that he was off the radar. You off of the radar. However, the witness quickly told them that that was not the case, and that he heard the police was set up or was up by his house last night looking for him. You know, like, no, me not offer no radar. Me get word say last night the police the up on my yard a look for me. So me not offer the radar. Still not convinced though. The alleged second in command told him that the snitch was not giving the police any information about him, the witness. Somebody a walk. Somebody a walk, he insisted. Somebody a walk meaning somebody is working with the police. Somebody in our gang is working with the police. Paro. Christie, however, believed that the police was getting information directly. Now, mind you, Christie is the female pastor, right? Christie, however, according to the recordings, believed that the police was getting information directly, while noting that she said if the cops were listening, they would be getting a whole heap of something. The detail where them a get, that a direct argument. Me I tell you, Wagwan, City Puss kept saying, he kept maintaining, like y'all sleeping, they working with somebody. The detail where them a get, quote unquote, the detail where them a get, a direct argument. Me I tell you, Wagwan. You see what me I say? Black man said in agreement. So black man up on the same call. Black man as City Post say, yeah, a direct argument that means somebody is talking directly to them. And black man say, you see what me I say? The alleged leader then pointed out that he heard that he was getting extortion money. City Post, while noting that he was not certain from where specifically they said that the money was coming from, said that the information was from a direct source, as they knew that the alleged Don's brother, who is defendant Kevon Green, was collecting money with his girlfriend. Now, according to him, the police knew that Green collected money on the weekend for his girlfriend and the exact date and time. How would the police know that if somebody not snitch? Christie said that she also heard that the police had questioned a businessman. So this is Christie relaying information to them to keep the gang going. She can't strip herself out of this. Pastor is in this all the way. This is her relaying information to them, right? And that's what she was described as before. Her role in this was the go-between person, the liaison, their bridge between the, how should I say, the legal world and their illegal world. So Christie said on the phone now that she also heard, she said, I also hear so the police are questioning a businessman, who have receipts for sure. Said, and that Brian had purchased items at his store. But City Post ruled out the possibility of the police getting information from the victim of the extortion. City Post said on the phone, them not have nobody if do that. Cause who I get them information can't go bright enough if do that. So, in other words, the person who's getting extorted couldn't bright enough if do that. Meaning, them already know what the consequences would be if they go talk to the police. So them couldn't bright enough if go do that. I know him. Can't bright enough if go do that. Now, following that, there was another article which gave up more information. Like me say, yo, these recordings, people. Pause a little bit and rest and listen to me. These recordings, and remember, all we're doing is we're just bringing you the excerpts as they're printed. But them recording here come in like a movie script. This is a movie script in the making. So the next article now came out. Breaking news. Klansman gang trial. Reputed leader only made money from music, the female defendant told the police. The so-called pastor, here she goes again, and this is a different piece of recording and different piece of information. The so-called pastor, based in St. Thomas, also told alleged gang members that she indicated to the cops that she did not know reputed leader Andre Blackman Bryan to be a member of any gang. So the tough-talking, foul-mouthed Stephanie Christie, who was described as a close ally of Blackman during one of the secretly recorded conversations, told Bryan that a superintendent of police had questioned her. Yeah, the police them question me about you, you know. And me tell them, say, me no know you like that. Me no know you for be no member of no gang. She also indicated that one of the investigators had warned her that she would be slapped with anti-gang charges if she lied to the police. Well, she's gonna be slapped with those charges now. She's the only female that is in the gang of 30 plus people. I believe it's 33 of them that have been indicted and are incarcerated and are on trial right now. She's one of them. The police warned her that she was going to be slapped with these charges if she lied to the police. They now have proof that she was lying to the police all along, because here we are with all these recordings coming out. Christy, the pastor lady, who is referred to as Muma in the gang, assured Bryan that she told the police that whatever she said, he would find out that it was the truth. Just go on, officer. May I tell you? Anything I tell you, just trust me, it's the truth. Him is not in no gang. Me don't know him to be that type of person. And me don't really know him like that still. True him want me fi tell lie. Me don't know nothing about the man, she said while on the call with Blackman. You see? True him want me fi tell lie. Me don't know nothing about the man. This is what she said on the call with Blackman, the gang's alleged second-in-command Citypuss, and the ex-gangster who recorded the conversation. They were all on the same phone call. Now on the call, she told them that the police had asked her if she had been seen people visiting Blackman and doing exchanges, or if she had ever collected any extortion money for him. Here are now, quote unquote, me say, the man never send me for no money yet. And if you do your investigation, and if nobody tell you say, me come collect money from them for the man, and music him do, and me know a deso him money come from, or a deso him get money from. So basically she's telling the police, for those of you who don't understand, that listen, if you do your investigation and anybody tells you that I came to collect money on his behalf, I came to collect money for music, because music is what he does. Okay? And that's where he gets his money from. Yeah, man. Me talk up the things them. This is her on the phone, you know. This is the excerpt from the recordings. Yeah, man. Me talk up the things them. Nothing though that the police did not believe her. She tell them also said, boy, me talk up the things them, but the police never believe me still. According to her, she insisted to the police that even though they, meaning she and Bryan, were paris, she did not know anything about Blackman, and that he did not give her anything. I just my good friend, I'm my hombre, yeah, my pari, but me don't know nothing about what you are talk about, officer. About extortion and send me go collect money and all that. Me don't join gang. Me don't know about any of that. And if you do your investigation and anybody tell us I come pick up money from them, it was money that pertained to music, because music is what he does. And that's how he making money. In the conversation, Blackman then mentioned on the phone that he heard that the police were asking about him having the Audi motor vehicle. To which Christy said she told the cops that it was not true. She said that she told the police that Bryan did not buy any Audi or any other cars and put them in her name. Me say, why the man go buy a car and don't buy a house? This is what me tell them, you know. Me ask the police, me say, why the man go buy a car and don't buy a house? Now rent the man a pay. And if I never lick music, how the man go survive? She was heard saying on the phone. So she went through arm's lengths. She went through distance and high waters to make sure that she steered the investigation in another way and away from Andre Blackman Brian. Earlier during the call, Blackman, who was behind bars, was heard assuming or assuring his alleged cronies that he was looking forward to coming home. Mind you, this is a conversation Mama Christie is having again from behind bars. Christie assured him that he was going to be released as the police had nothing concrete on him. No worry, man, you soon come out. She also told him that she had found a house for him in a nice little gated community, and she had already sent all the information pertaining to the rental as well as a picture of the house to Citypuss. Not too chatty, Blackman said to Christie, who replied, "No man, it up. No man, for real." Not too chatty? A chat or a real thing? No man, it up. This is her reply, it real. A nice house in a nice little gated quiet community, right? She then told him to stay strong until you get free, see? Here what? At any time now, mama, may I tell you say, I done thing. Cause the boy them a bluff. So them want to try a case. You see me? This is Blackman speaking, and this is how that recording ended. Hear what? At any time now, mama, may I tell you, say a done thing. Cause the boy them a bluff. So them want to try a case. You see me? Meaning, him a go and hold the faith because him soon come out. Right? Clearly says, what better way to deflect attention from police than to claim you are a pastor? Jamaicans love their pastors, don't they? Dummel says also maybe the barking guns are the type of music that he was making his money from. They obviously think of the explosive sounds from the gun in music to the ear. Pastor the biggest trickster out there. Another person said, I always thought that it was the police. Please enlighten me, Phil. And then Phil answered back and said, nope, police don't have the brains for trickery. They rely on bronze. DDT said, I think that we are at the point now where we start to wonder how much years they are going to get. But there's always some technicality to contend with anyways. Bobo says the telephone recordings will be a serious contention. It may convict them, but it may also get them off on appeal. The fruits from the poisonous tree. Note the length of time and effort it took to get it into evidence. Watch this space. Personally, I want them to get their just rewards for their actions, but the law is the law. Guest number 3 says, well, talking on the phone, chatting too much, got the great mobster John Gotti life imprisonment until he died behind bars. And the same thing will be the broker in this drama of a trial in Jamaica. Isn't it? Isn't it wonderful that people can't keep their mouths shut and that technology have a way of haunting them in the long run? Sylvia Griffith answers and said, still in disbelief that this is actually a pastor. PJ the original says, he know real one is he. That must be a church in hell. And oh Lord says, being a pastor doesn't mean that you are not involved in evils that plague us. Please remember that. Alright. Second recording that was. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me if you're keeping up with these recordings as we are bringing them to you in detail and explaining. And continue, hit that subscribe button. And I'll catch you on the next video. Alright? I'm out. Peace.